Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, on June 7th, we honor the birthday and legacy of one of the most transformative artists in Black history, Prince Rogers Nelson, a visionary, a rebel, a musical architect, and a cultural liberator. Prince redefined what it meant to be an artist. He blended genres effortlessly, challenged the music industry, fought for artistic ownership, and inspired generations to embrace authenticity without apology. Prince's legacy is more than music. It is liberation, creativity, and the courage to be boldly, unapologetically yourself. As we celebrate his life, we also celebrate the spirit of innovation and resilience that lives within our communities. Today's episode is dedicated to the Purple One, whose influence continues to shape the world. Now, let me introduce our guest. Welcome to another heartfelt edition of CK Stories from the Heart, where the real stories meet real purpose. I'm your host, Charles Zachary King, and today we're diving deep into a journey of faith, resilience, entrepreneurship, and community empowerment. On this special day, Prince's birthday, we honor a legend who used his gifts to uplift the world. And in that same spirit, we welcome a man who is using his own gifts to uplift his community. Our special guest today is a peacemaker, a leader, and a man grounded in faith. He is someone who understands the power of self-development, the importance of service, and the beauty of walking in purpose. Born and raised in Chicago, shaped by Belizean roots and strengthened by his relationship with Christ, he is a living example of what it means to rise, rebuild, and give back. Family, help me to welcome Andrew Miranda Jr.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Charles, for that great introduction.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm greatly blessed. How's your spirit?
Well, so far so good.
I love it.
so,
I love it.
so, is there anything you'd like to say to the audience before we get into the show?
I would like to say shalom. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to spend time with us. And yeah, we're going to have a good time.
Yes, sir. And before we get started, there are a couple of hellos here in the chat. Just want to say hello and thank you for being with us. I hope you enjoy the show today.
Amen.
There's another hello. And again, we thank you and we hope that you enjoy the show today.
For sure. For
So,
sure.
as we get into this, Andrew, tell us about your upbringing in Chicago and how your beliefs and heritage shaped your identity.
Wow. Born and raised here in Chicago I've seen 36 years of age, first and foremost. So 3 decades of seeing things for what they are. I was ever since I was younger, I was introduced to the world around me as being transparent and seeing it for what it is. My mom raised me to be a person of education, somebody who is empathetic, somebody who, like I said, pays attention. So from 36 or from 1 to 36, I've seen plenty. Uh, I went to an elementary school called Agassiz in the north side of Chicago where there was plenty full of different cultures there. There were Hispanic people, there were Caucasian people, there were even people of disabilities or what we would call today autistic. So I've been around plenty of people since I was young, which has showed me that there's more than there. I've always been, like I said, empathetic to a genre of people. Um, my parents and grandparents, like you mentioned, are Belizean, which is in Central America, and we pretty much have, or I was brought up with morals. I was brought up Catholic or Christian, as most people say, and yeah, my grandma took me to church every Sunday as much as she could. And then as I got to my teenage years, it was kind of like you can pick and choose whether you want to attend church. So at that point, I was like, well, no, I don't want to wake up early on Sundays. Like, I'd rather stay home and play video games and eat cereal. But as of like age 20, in my 20s or my 30s, I've once again got closer to God, because the more you draw near to Him, the more He draws near to you. And I've gone through tribulations, and I've cried, and I've seen like my transformation, and I'm still on this journey of walking with Christ. And yeah, I'm at a age where I don't go to a certain Catholic or Christian church, but I'm a deep spiritual believer. And that all goes back to my roots once again, that my grandma installed in me, and both my mom and dad installed it in me. And my family have spiritual roots as well, because like I said, we all were brought up, we're very family oriented, and we believe in Christ, and so it's been rooted in me.
Wow. So tell us, how has multicultural influenced your life to be the person that you are today?
Say it one more time, Charles.
How is it being multicultural? Has leaned its greatness into you as you being the person that you are today?
Being multicultural, it like there's an American side to me, I would say, and there's a Belizean side to me. It just, I don't know how to explain it, but I can see there's both sides to the coin, especially when it comes to politics, it comes to leadership, it comes to entrepreneurship. Because as a person that's multicultural, like, I have no choice. Like, I'm in America, I have to follow their certain rules and laws. But deep down inside, I know that I'm led by God. Like, I have to follow what God says. I can't follow what man says. So being that I'm multicultural, like, I eat different foods. My parents and my grandparents speak Garifuna, which is a different language. So my understanding is a little bit different than the average, I would say, American person, because I was just brought up that way. There's nothing I could do. I was brought up that way. So it's just having a perspective broader than just America is what I would say being multicultural means.
So, what are some defining moments in your childhood that influenced the man you are today?
Wow. Some defining moments. Graduating elementary school was definitely a moment for me. I remember having to, the day of, I had to go wake up earlier than graduation, go to the barber, had to go pick up like little shoes and the little incumbents that should have been dealt with, but like, it was last minute at my point, so I had to go. I had to be responsible and go do these little things, and it felt good to walk across the stage. It felt good to see my classmates, like, we're all leveling up to that next stage, and it felt good to be like, okay, now this journey begins. Like, this part of your life is done. Now you get to go to high school and become a teenager and an adolescent. And I would also say, when I got into DePaul University here in Chicago, that was a big highlight moment for me, because before me, I didn't know anybody to attend college. And so that was a wow moment for me. Like, you want me to go to your college? Like, yeah, let's go do it. Let's go have fun. Let's go learn. And I would say, okay, so you said, as a child, what was some highlight moments?
Yes.
I would say when my little sister was born, that was another highlight moment for me. She's 9 years younger than me, and I just remember she was born in January, so I remember like it snowing and just the excitement of having a new family member. Like, I get to be an older brother, and just being like, okay, this is the responsibility given to me, and this is what I'm going to take on and be happy doing it. So yeah, I would say those are some highlighting moments.
So, how did your walk with Christ begin, and how has it guided your life's direction?
My walk with Christ, like I said, it began when I was young. I remember my mom always saying, like, you should be a preacher or a pastor, because I have such a calm spirit of myself. I have a humble spirit. I don't know where. Well, my dad is humble too, so that's most likely where it comes from. But just being like I said, going to church with my grandparents every Easter, Passover, uh, for Christmas. Sometimes we would go. So I would say it's rooted in my upbringing. Um, I would say over the years, I've always, well, in my teenage years, I was questioning like what this whole church thing means, and I never fully understood it until I talked with my older brother, who's also here in Chicago, and he would tell me like, you don't have to go to church to be of Christ. And he wasn't saying it as a bad thing. He was saying it that like the preacher man is a man too. You are to respect everybody the same. It's not because he's the preacher that you listen to his and hold on to every word that he preaches. So just having insight like that helped me, like, once again, join myself with Christ and be like, okay, look within, or listen what the Heavenly Father is telling you, and be guided with His Spirit, because man is just man. Like, we're men, we're human, so we have flaws, but Christ is flawless. And I would say, like, just having those thoughts and mindset it's kept me on my path to walking with Christ, and yeah, just keep building that every day.
So, what challenges did you face growing up in Chicago, and how did you overcome them?
Wow, it's many of them. Just being, what was the one of them? A challenge I would say would be just finding the sweet spot in life, because coming from Chicago, it's very divided. Like, it's a very divided city. As much as we have a lot of cultures in Chicago, but it's very divided. So just finding that sweet spot. Like I said, when I was in elementary school, I grew up with Hispanic people, Caucasian people, people of different cultures. So I was just always trying to find that sweet spot, not trying to be somebody that kisses butt, but just trying to figure out like, well, how does your family do this, or how does your family go about this, and just asking questions. That goes for many of people. Like, I come across people and I'd be amazed at like what they're wearing, or what something of their culture, and I'll go ahead and ask them. So my challenge has always been to go ahead and ask the questions that you have questions about. Like, don't be afraid, don't be shy, like, speak up. Like, if you're questioning something, something's alerting you, like, go ahead and speak and find out the answer. Don't be afraid to seek the answer.
Okay. We have another comment here. Another just a pleasantry is from Anastasia. She says hi.
Hi, Anastasia.
So at 36, you've experienced both highs and lows.
For
What
sure.
have been your greatest lessons?
My greatest lessons have been, tomorrow is another day. Everything is a lesson. Everything I go through, there's a lesson in it. So just observing the lesson, going through whatever season I'm going through, and looking forward to tomorrow so that I can learn from that lesson. So yeah, just life is gonna keep life, and like, you gotta keep going forward. No matter what tribulation it is, you have to keep marching forward. So yeah.
So as you say that, because you're definitely right. Life does be life. So if life is life, and like when these situations come about, can you tell us what is it about you that you're able to have the calm about the processes and keep it moving?
Like I said, I'm 36, so it started, like I said, ever since I would maybe say 6 or 7. Like, I was always at grandma's house on the weekends with my cousins that are of the same age, and I would just notice that I was a very calm person. Like, I used to cry because like my parents would drop me off, and I'd be like, "Well, I don't want to spend the night. I want to just stay home." But you got to be social. You got to learn how to be amongst people, be amongst family. But I remember going to grandma's house, and I would wake up and be like, I'm the oldest grandson, so I would be like, "Well, let me go walk to the store," or I was always looking to like be responsible in some kind of manner. So I would just say, oh, what was the question again? I don't know. I got sidetracked.
No, I said at 36, you've experienced both highs and lows.
Right, right.
Where have you been for your greatest lessons? But then my follow up was to that was how is it that you are always able to keep the calm?
I'm all praises to the Most High. It's like any time of tribulations, I'm praying on it. I'm a very quiet person because that's how I communicate with the Heavenly Father. I ask for His guidance. I ask for clarity. So I would say, yeah, that's the God led spirit in me to just be at peace because it's in the Bible. Like He'll grant you with peace if you ask of it through any time. So that's where, like, yeah, I get it from the Bible, and I'm one of His vessels. So that's where I give all praises to Him. All the peace comes from Him.
So let's talk a little bit about your entrepreneurship and your professional journey. You spent over 15 years in the customer service industry.
Right.
How did that experience prepare you for your entrepreneurship?
It definitely, over the years, I've just taken lessons from each year or each job that I've held. All my jobs have been, I've had but one remote job in the 19 years that I've been working. And I've always been in front of customers. So what I do is I learn body language. I learn how to communicate clearly. I learn how to be sociable in a crowded room. I learn who to look for certain things. And like I said, if you get the answer no, that just means you have to go to the next person and anticipate the next yes. So what it's taught me is just to be a go-getter. And that's why I still am an entrepreneur to this day. And yeah, each day is a lesson. Like if somebody says no to you today, they might say yes to you next week. So just be positive minded and keep going forward.
So tell us about your business. What's the name of it? How did you start it? Tell us about it.
Right now, I'm using this platform called Poshmark, and it is a platform that you're able to sell anything from electronics to clothing to makeup to, it's like an eBay, but the new version of eBay. And you can actually put on a show. Like you could show your items. Like if you have a boutique, I've seen plenty of women go rack to rack and show you certain items and sell you on the items they have because that's their inventory. You're a salesperson. So I use that platform to build relationships. I have certain pieces of clothing on there that I sell. And like I said, I'm mostly on there to build relationships. But when I get a sale, I'm happy that my account is fulfilled with that amount of money. And like I said, I'm just trying to find my niche in there. I've been doing it since January of 2017. So this is my 9th year. And I've been recently selling protein shakes on there because I don't see nobody doing that avenue. So I like to just stay in my lane and figure out how do I win at this? And that's what I've been doing for the past 9 years, Poshmark.
So what inspired you to step into business ownership?
What it did inspire? I've always, before I had my first job at TJ Maxx, I always was like, how do I get money? And then once I learned I gotta work 15 hours or 20 hours to get a check, I was like, it gotta be more to this. This can't be the only way. So and when I was in elementary school, I used to get protein bars or lollipops. And I used to sell them on a school bus or in school and be like, well, who's interested in buying these? So I had the entrepreneurship spirit in me ever since elementary school. So now that I'm older and I get to we have Google, so you could Google these things, how to start your own business. I do my Google, I do my research, and I apply what I learned. I don't just read it and be like, oh, well, that's a good idea. I go try it. If this is a sales pitch, if this is the way to do it, this is the way I'll approach it. I'll ask people that are also entrepreneur spirit. I'll ask them for their advice and their take. And like I said, I'm just always trying to build on what I learned yesterday and actually apply it, not just learn it. So, yeah.
So what values or principles guide you as an entrepreneur?
Very much integrity. Integrity. You have to be honest. Being honest with yourself. That's how you find those people who, like they always said, there's certain people that come to you based on your character. They don't come to you because necessarily because they want what you have. They come to you because they appreciate the business that they have. They appreciate the spirit and the personality that you have. So I've always kept that in mind, that it's not always about the product or the inventory that you have. You always have to be relatable to people. You have to show them respect, because they might just tell you what you need and or what they need, and then you can just find an outlet that has that on sale, and then you can either sell it, will make a profit with that person, or you could give them the knowledge you have, like, oh, you could go here for this, or you could go here for this. So it's mostly about building relationships that last for more than just a sale.
So, as you're doing the business that you're doing, can you give our guests, our audience, some advice as to what are some of the things you do that make you such a success as a people person in your industry?
In Poshmark, what makes me a great success is the music I play. I usually play reggae music, I play gospel music, I play ambient music. People like to shop where they're comfortable. Like you, if you go to Target, if you go to Walmart, the music they're playing is calm music. It's not rap. It's not nothing absurd. So just finding once again your lane and what you're comfortable with is how you draw people near you, because people like what they like. We all have preferences. So like I said, I listen to reggae music. So during my shows, I might put a little reggae music on in the background. I love ambient music because it calms your spirit. So I put that on in the background. I put gospel music on because I love Christ. So I'm going to give him all praises. I'm going to spread his word. I'm going to spread the music that praises him. So I put that on. And like I said, there's plenty of people that come to the show and they'll ask about the products I have in my closet. And if they're interested, they'll purchase it. If not, I live to see another day.
Right. So tell us about a moment in your career where you realized you were walking in your purpose.
Career wise. Okay, there was about 2 months ago, I had taken a break from Poshmark like Christmas of 2025, just to reset and be like, all right, so what are you doing with this? And I came back and I met this lady. Her name is, or her tag name on Poshmark is Silent Victory. So I don't know where or how I found her name, but we talked, or I came to her show because she was doing a show, and she was like, well, how did you find me, young man? Because she always telling me her age. She was 63 at the time. She was like, well, how did you find me, young man? I'm like, I don't know. I just tagged your name and you came to the show. She was like, I usually never go to people's shows that tag me because business is business. You don't want to, not all business is good business. So you don't want to be crossing paths with people who are just distractions. And I was like, I fully understand that. So about after we had that message, she wrote me later like, oh, I'm going to buy my grandson like these jogging pants you have in your closet and that sweater you have in your closet. And I was like, okay, thanks. Happy to do business with you. By the end of the day, she actually made that purchase and was like, she wrote me a message saying, thank you for being respectable. Thank you for responding back to my message. And for that, I'm going to buy these things from your closet. And I was like, I was taken back. Like, that's all I had to do was just be myself, like respond to your message. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this gonna work because I could do this on the regular. And then she then like we built a relationship based off of, like I said, I'm God led. Like, I don't know why I tagged her or how we got in connection, but she was like, I see you as a kingdom son. You have so much wisdom, like the way you speak and your calmness. And I'm like, you're not the first person to tell me this. So like that's why I continue to use Poshmark, because I want to reach more people. I want to spread this peace. I want to give it to people. So when I do shows on there, I'm always mindful, like you're helping people by spreading the peace. You're not holding it all for yourself. So that's why I continue to be a part of Poshmark.
So, can you tell us, like, with this peace that you're spreading, with this calmness that's within you, what are you seeking to do with your business? Are you trying to expand it and grow it outward, or what are your future plans with the business?
Pretty much. I want to have a sponsorship with a certain company. I was telling my girlfriend earlier, like I would love to have a sponsorship with Samsung. Downstairs in my mother's kitchen, there's a refrigerator that's by Samsung. There's a stove that's by Samsung. My phone is by Samsung. Um, I don't use an Apple product, so I'm very well equipped or well knowledge of what Samsung products do and the way they're used. So I would love to have a partner or a brand deal with a company and pretty much promote their items and be like, well, this is the person that pays me monthly to promote these things. And I just want to build partnerships and relationships with people that are of business mind. I don't want to just rely on selling just being a reseller. I want to build like strong relationships. So that's where I'm heading. That's where my mindset is.
Hmm. So, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own business but feels afraid?
I love that question. I say go for it. Do it. Whatever that ideal is, do it. There are people who sell candy for a quarter. If that's what you want to do it. Do not put fear in front of you. Fear is it's not real. I would say go for it. Sit down, give yourself a day, write down your business idea, find out your budget, and put your what do you call it? Your when like your goggles that you don't look at nothing else. Like if this is your goal, make sure this is what you do. You wake up tomorrow, you start that business. You reach out to people. Like we have advertisement everywhere. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok. Like there's so many avenues that you could start your business on. Don't be afraid to make money because we're human. We have families that need income. So I would say put your fear to the side. Like it's not needed. Like what's needed is your courage to succeed, and we all can succeed in business. You just have to be like, I'm going to do this and do it. If you need support, find out who can support you, who can be there for you to make sure you're accountable and make sure you're accountable for yourself. Like set your goals, write them down, and do it. Do not be afraid. And if you fail, guess what? You can start a new business. You can learn from that last. It's not even a failure. It's that last lesson. So don't be afraid. Like we only live once, and once we're gone, you can't even, ain't no more lessons you can learn. So go for it. Do it.
So, that's good advice, and I think that with a lot of people, that think from the entrepreneur side, I think what a lot of people fear is just not knowing a lot of things,
Right.
and nobody knows everything. When
Absolutely.
it came down to that, and like when you started working with Poshmark, what were some of the thoughts that you had that were doubting thoughts about your process, but you did it anyway? What were some of those thoughts?
Mm, I remember like, so in order to post on the website, you have to come up with a description. Then you have to put the picture. Then then you can post it. Like my first doubts were like, is this the right, did I take it in the right lighting? Or is the title clear enough that they understand what they're buying? Like those things they're so subtle, but when you're first starting stuff, you don't really know how it looks or what way you should go. So what I did was I went to other people pages. I was like, oh, I like how they do this. I like how they do this. Let me bring that to my light and let me etch out how I want to illustrate my listing. So I just went ahead and I remember the first thing I sold were a pair of women joggers. And I don't I don't know if the lady's still on Poshmark, but I remember how excited I was that this happened. Like I was like, I made my first sale. And I didn't know much about the platform. So, but all it took was that one lady to once again show me support. I put it in a little, I don't remember, a box or a little manila envelope, and I shipped it off to her. She got, again, that's all it takes. So like, once I just kept repeating the process. My sister would bring home clothes, old clothes from her boss, and I would just repost them. She would bring me extra clothes from her, from the family that she take care of, and I would post those. And like I said, there's inventory that's been in there since like 2020, but nonetheless, it's still something that if somebody needs it, you can come to my closet. I'll knock the price down $5 or $10 because it's only clothes to me. It's only an item. So it's all about being business and being visible. Like, I want to take my page down because how else am I gonna get paid for this? Like, I always want to be a part of seeing what's what. I want to be a part of what's the updates. And like I said, don't be afraid to start. Like, everybody starts from somewhere. Like, a lot of us want the whole picture drawn, but you gotta write your name first. You gotta put the first line on the paper. So yeah.
Wow. So let's move over to your wellness and finance program.
For sure.
What motivated you to create a wellness and finance program for your community?
What motivated me to do that was my girlfriend. She had a conversation with me one night about, once again, I used to work for Chase, and I used to work for a credit union. So I'm very financially knowledgeable about how banks work and the customers they serve. And the wellness part is, I love gym. Like, I love working out, and I always found that people who are health conscious are usually financially conscious as well. And when you bring those together, because health is wealth. So when you bring those together, you have somebody who is goal oriented and they're ready to take on whatever's ahead of them. So we had conversations, and she was asking me questions through AI or ChatGPT, like, how would you do this? Or how would you how would you help a customer or a client like this? And so after like an hour of talking, we came up with the name Miranda Wellness and Finance. I created an email the next day, and I was like, we're going to take this post and I'm going to put it on LinkedIn and Facebook, since that's where people eyes are nowadays. They're on their phone. Nobody is usually on their laptop unless they're more of older age. But I told myself, I am going to put this in front of as many people as possible. And I'm going to help as many people as possible because I come from, once again, the finance background and the wellness background. So it's just taking the knowledge I have and helping as many people as I can. So yeah.
So, how do you define wellness, and why is it important for personal growth?
I define wellness as an overall wellness, mental, spiritually, and physically. Your mental is important because it's like a computer. If your hard drive or if your hard drive is overloaded with a bunch of stuff, you're not able to fully function efficiently. Mm-hmm. So I always say, use your brain as a tool. If you're overloaded with noise, if you're overloaded with chaos, if you're overloaded with just workload, if you're working 60 hours a week, you're not really being efficient, unless that's, you're not being efficient. Even if you constantly do that, it's like you're going to burn out. So wellness to me is finding that balance. Like, okay, I do need to support my family. I do need to earn a check, but you do need sleep. You need to drink lots of water. You need to eat foods that actually help energize your body, not de-energize your body. And so I always been, like I said, I love studying the body because it tells you about yourself. Like, if somebody has bags on their eyes, you need rest. If you drink a lot, if you drink alcohol, you need water. You need coconut water to rehydrate you. So there's always it's a give and pull in life. And when you're conscious about it, you're able to be not ahead of yourself, but you're able to balance out a lot of things in life once you're conscious about your own wellness, like taking care of self. So yeah.
So, you mentioned that you and your girlfriend had a conversation about the health and wellness before you started. Take
Mhm.
us through that conversation and let us and tell us how did that actually bring it all together for you guys to actually implement this and start it?
Um, Bookie, how do we start that conversation? We always be having conversations. Like we communicate a lot.
Find something. Your skills and stocks and your knowledge
Okay.
about the mindset.
Okay.
And to use that as a service.
Okay, so I've been another. Okay, so over since June of 2023, so 3 years now, I've been studying the stock market
Okay.
because that's been a. I don't know why I was something attracted to. Oh, there's a coach on YouTube or a person that I use as a coach and a mentor. His name is Chris Sane. So I came across his video in 2023, and he motivated me to be like, you can invest your money and it will generate more money for you. So I was listening to his advice, and I'm like, well, let me sit with this. I'm a person that loves to learn. I said, let me sit with this guy and see what he has to say. So he would show us. He still does. He makes daily videos, and he'll give you an idea or a breakdown of stocks and what stock is doing what and what industry it's a part of, and is it going to do good this year or this season. So I came across him in 2023. And when I met my girlfriend at it was February of 2025 is when I met her. And like every time I would talk to her, I would tell her like I'm either listening to some kind of stock video or I'm like always learning about it. So when when we were sitting together, she was like, "Well, you should make what do you call a ebook? Like you should teach people what you know." I'm like, I should teach people what I know because it's been 3 years. Like you gotta spread the knowledge. You don't just keep it to yourself. So she was like, all right, let's sit down and let me ask you some questions of how you would guide a client if they were to call you, if you were to have a coaching call with somebody. So she used ChatGPT because she's great at it. She's great at asking questions, and the prompt would come up like, oh, well, you should do this like this. So we did that it was like midnight. She just started asking me questions like, how long would the call be? Or how would you go about helping somebody who needs a small budget? Or how would you help somebody who needs a large budget? How would you help somebody who needs, like, she would just ask me these questions. And I'm like, I was just giving her the answers, and she jotted it down, each one. And then after an hour, we came up with like 8 pages of a structure. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to use that and I'm going to run with it. I'm not going to overthink it. Like, that's what I was saying earlier about business. Don't overthink it. Like, if you have a template, use it. So after that hour, she came up with a prompt that I advertised on LinkedIn and Facebook, Miranda's Wellness. Like, we'll work together for like 4 to 6 weeks on budgeting. Like, that's the basic budgeting. And if you have the time, or not the time, if you have the bravery to come to me and be like, well, this is my budget and this is the goals I'm trying to make, I'm going to hold you accountable. We're going to come up with a great plan together, and we're going to see it through. I'm going to walk you through. Like, oh, did you make that credit card payment? Did you make that mortgage payment? Did you do it on time? Did your credit score go up? Like, I'm going to walk through the journey with you. I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm not going to leave you lonely, because most people, it's not that they don't make enough money. It's just that their mental is like all over the place. Like, this is due this day, this due this day. Like, if I could format that for you and make it comfortable for you to see and like have it as a dream board, then I've accomplished the goal. And once again, once you knock that goal out, like the doors just flood open. So like, yeah, we just came up with that conversation one night, and yeah, that's my new business that I'm promoting.
So, with wellness and finance, I mean, that's a really good plan. Can you tell me, I mean, like, have you guys figured out a target market for that, or is it just open?
It's just open at this point because we came up with it maybe 3 weeks ago or a month. Yeah, like a month. So I've had nobody actually be like, well, yeah, I want to see what this program is about. But that doesn't stop me from promoting it every day. So that's what I do. I wake up, I put it on my Facebook story, I put it on LinkedIn, and whoever is drawn to, like I said, coming up with a budget, like that's the basis of it. If you need help with financing, I'm going to help you come up with a plan on financing. If you need help with wellness, what things to eat, what things to avoid, we're going to come up with a plan for that. I'm just trying to help people with whatever they need help with. Like, I'm a servant. I'm the Lord's servant, so I'm here to help as long as you're courageous enough to be like, well, I do need help with this. Honestly, I need help with this. Okay, I'm gonna be the calm person that I am, and we're gonna come up with a plan together that actually fits. We're not gonna do anything that's of extreme. I'm not gonna tell you to stop eating all sugars. I'm not gonna tell you to stop eating meat. I don't eat pork, but that don't mean that you have to stop eating pork. We're gonna work together and come up with a game plan that works for you and your budget and your wellness, so that your family, do it for your family and do it for yourself especially.
So, what are some common financial challenges you see in your community?
Whew. The challenge is it's a huge challenge. Minimum wage is $16 in Illinois. It just increased maybe last summer from 15, and the average rent is like $1,100 for like a studio, maybe $700 if you're in a lower level or lower income community. So it's just like, I know that I have the knowledge. Like, it's national news that Illinois is a law that you could just make $16 an hour. So you got $16 an hour times 40 hours a week is $640. Your rent is going to be about, like I said, $700. Then you still got groceries. Then you still got to do laundry. Then you might have a car payment. Then you might have a credit card. So it's all a balancing act. And I know that not everybody has it like that. So when I come home from work, because I do temp jobs sometimes, I see the homeless people on the train. I see the homeless people on the side of with their tents. I see these things. So it's not like I can't run from them. So I see that's a challenge to me, understanding like how America is full of money. How do these people, how are they left on the end of the totem pole when this country is filled with money? So I see the challenge, but how do I help them is I'm still walking that path. Like, how do I help these people? Because I never want to see nobody without food. I never want to see anybody without shelter. America is a place where they'll walk over that person and think nothing of it. I'm not of that creed. Like, if I have that dollar in my pocket, I'm gonna give you that dollar because I have a job that I can go to that's gonna pay me whatever amount I'm getting paid for. So I just always want to help the less fortunate, because anybody could be in that predicament. And I would love, if I were in that predicament, I would love somebody to be like, you know what? You looked out for me and God bless you. So yeah.
So, how does your program help individuals gain clarity in their financial and health goals?
Well, they get clarity by just being honest. Once you're honest with yourself, you can reach any goal. Once you get that inner peace and that inner just being responsible for yourself, then you could be like, oh, well, I could do this. I can do this business. I can help here. I can serve here. But like I said, most of us are on I call it the hamster wheel, where we wake up, we go to work, we come home, eat dinner, watch TV, go to sleep, wake up, go to work. It's just a continual loop. So when in my program or my finance service, I just want to have a conversation with you. Give me an hour, maybe 2 hours. Let's just have an honest conversation. Like, how is life? And let's talk about, okay, so what's your budget? Like, how much do you make a month? Taxes put away? Do you have a 401k? Like, are you maxing that out? Because that's going to help you in the long run when you're not working. And we just going to have an honest conversation, nothing forced. And like I said, that's just going to help you understand. It's going to clarify like where you are financially, because the quicker you invest is the quicker you can get off the hamster wheel. So that's what that's the goal and the message I want to get out to everyone. Yeah.
So, what success stories or transformations have you witnessed so far?
Personally, I've witnessed investing in the stock market, and I think it was July of 2024. Yeah, I had made, I believe it was like $500 in a day from trading stocks. Because once again, I learned it and I applied what I learned. So in July, I remember I was working at this place called Markin. It's a subsidiary of UPS. So while I was there, it was like maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like taking the advice that Coach Chris gave me, and I was like, I'm gonna keep investing in Tesla, Nvidia, because these are the big names nowadays that are in the market and that are making money. So in July of 2024, I did some trades that, like I said, I made $500 in a day, or I made $300 in a day while I'm still at work. So I was like, success, you did it, Andrew. Keep doing it, keep learning. So ever since then, I've been, like I said, I keep learning about the stock market. I learned about the different industries. I learned about what CEO is here, who influencing what. We all know Elon Musk, the name of him at least, and Jeff Bezos. Like, you just being, it's all about knowledge and knowing who's doing what, who's creating what avenues. So like I said, once you learn the tactics they do, then you're able to insert yourself in and make money based on the knowledge you have.
So, let's talk a little bit about your community engagement and impact. What
Yes.
does what does being a peacemaker mean to you?
A peacemaker, what that means to me is being somebody that amongst the chaos, because the world is full of it. I was watching the news with my father like 2 days ago, and I'm like, there's a war here. There's somebody that got killed here. Trump is saying this here. I'm just like, this is, I grew up listening to Bob Marley, and one song or one lyric that he said is everywhere is war. There's always talks of war. There's always something happen that there's always confusion and chaos and clashes happening. And I just say to myself, well, Andrew, what can you do about it? What I could do about it, I could leave the room and let my dad be my dad and watch the news because that's his entertainment. And I could go about, once again, finding that inner peace. I could go talk to my girlfriend. I could go for a walk. I can find out how my mom is doing, how her day is going. Like, just finding peace in everywhere. No matter where you go, you find the peace. That's what, yeah, being a peacemaker is finding peace wherever you are. You could be amongst the loudest crowd, but just having that inner peace in you is how you become a peacemaker.
Wow, I think that's really excellent. And I applaud you, especially, you being one of the young future leaders of this world right now and thinking
Thank
about
you.
others and how you can help them.
Thank you.
That takes a lot from a lot of people, but I think some people have the thought processes, but they never actually do it. What
Right.
was your actual follow through? What makes you follow through? What's your motivation?
I've always said my mother is one of my most influential mentors. She always pushes me to do great. She always teaches or pushes me and teaches me to do better. Like, she always be like, Andrew, that's a good job you have. Once you do better, once you can do better, do better. Never sit somewhere and be stagnant. My father, he's a very stern individual. So it's the same for him. Like, we have real dad and son conversations. Like, he'll tell me once again about what Trump is doing or something that's happening in the news, and I listen and I take it in, and I'll be like, okay, well, I got to move like this now that I know this information. I got to go this way now that I know this information. And my grandparents are the same. They just have they have, once again, they're peacemakers. So that's where I get it from. We always have gentle conversations. We don't yell at each other. Of course, there's things we disagree on, but even if we disagree, it's never a yelling match. It's always a conversation because we're human. We have words. Let's use them. Let's not curse at each other. And let's not yell. Let's not elevate our tone just because we have a disagreement. So my grandparents, my parents, and even my siblings, like it's just when you're surrounded by peacemakers, you become one. So yeah,
So, how do you stay grounded while serving others?
I just I know it's not about me. I'm a servant of the Lord, and if He sends me somewhere, I have to understand He is a reason I'm here. I may not know it. Lean not on your own understanding. It's a very powerful verse that I hold on to. You never know what people are going through unless they tell you. And I always keep that in mind. Like somebody has an attitude, I'm sorry, like there's nothing I can do about that. But I still have a job to do. Like I still have to be human enough to be like, well, they're having a bad day. That doesn't mean you are to exude that same energy. Like you still have to be Andrew. Still know that you're going to, at the end of the day, leave this place and go home and yeah, find your peace at understanding, well, this is almost over. So that's how I keep my peace.
So, what changes would you like to see in your community over the next few years?
Whew, I would love to see a lot of the people in my community less poverty or with actual, I will, doesn't even make sense to give them money and they not know what to do with it. So I would love for them to get the education first and then see them build from there. Get the apartment that you need, get the right foods that you need, be around, get the right therapy that you need, whether it's from old drug abuse, whether it's alcohol, whether it's physical abuse. Just get the therapy that you need. I would love for that to happen, and I would love to join and partner with people that makes that happen. Because people are only where they're at temporarily. Like we all have seasons, so I would love that to see my community. Just I would love to see apartment complexes built for them, or even homes built for them, especially for them, because once again, nobody has to be impoverished in this American country that makes millions day in and day out. So I would love to partner with somebody who can make that happen. Like, yeah, let's build these apartment complexes. Let's build these homes so that the less fortunate can actually not be less fortunate. Like teach them how the regular everyday life can be lived and make sure those right foods are in their homes. Make sure they're watching the right programs. Make sure they're led by the right people because not everybody is for you. So just giving them that understanding and seeing everybody grow like a tree because a tree was once a baby plant. So yeah, just seeing people grow.
So, with that being said, can you tell our audience how can people support your mission or get involved in your work?
So I can be reached via LinkedIn at Andrew Miranda Jr. You can find me on Facebook as Andrew Frank Miranda Jr. You can reach out to my email, amiranda.wellness.finance@gmail.com. I'll get back to you as soon as possible, or my girlfriend will. And you could call me because I love communicating. You could call me. We could chat. Like I said, we could go into wellness chat. We could go into finance chat, or we could just chat about like how is life, like how's your spirit. And yeah, just reach out to me. You can find me on YouTube. I have my own YouTube. That's AJ Miranda 789. And yeah, just find the links in my LinkedIn and yeah, just connect with me. I would love to help.
Well, look, I have a comment as well as here. One of our guests, our people in our audience here. Let me put this on the screen for you.
Okay.
He says, Charles, can you make the proper introduction? This is Blake, and Blake is he's the guy that does all the media for me.
Oh, okay.
And he wants to speak with you because he says he likes the way you conduct business. He and that you are a problem solver and a selfless service person. So, so I guess would it be okay to pass along your information to him?
Yes, please do. Please do. I would love to have that conversation with Blake.
Yes, sir. And so,
Give me
so
the trumpet.
last question here. What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
The legacy I hope to leave behind is just one of peace and just being. Oh, man. Hold on, give me 1 second. This phone is about to die. Oh, my phone is hot. The legacy I want. It's not even charging. What's going on? I don't know why my phone is not charging. The legacy I want to leave behind is just one that is of truth and one that can be understood by many. And what I mean by understood is the love, the mercy, and the grace that I have. I want many people to share amongst themselves.
So, in closing, what are some words of wisdom and encouragement, and how people can connect with you again? As we go out, that is, give them your social media again, your website, all of that good information.
I would say love is love. Continue to love everyone. Like love is what takes us far. So put down the hate. Don't watch anything that is of discouragement. Keep pushing forward in anything you have in life, whether that's business, whether that's family, whether that's yourself. Make sure that you push forward and always be of great spirit and love others as much as you can, because when your time is done, there's nothing you can do. So keep being positive and love, love, love.
Well, so in closing, I want to thank you for being here with us and sharing your story, and of course, so people can see the person behind the businesses and the programs that you've brought together for what matters and what really helps to build communities and keep that growth going, because that's very, very important. And I want to say, for those of you that are watching on all of our channels, I would appreciate you guys for watching and being here for the entire duration of this interview. This is a great interview where we're actually getting the opportunity to meet this young man that's actually not just about his community, but he's also about the peace and what it takes to keep people in his community in the best way possible, and to get in the best shape that they possibly can. I also want to give thanks to my TikTok family. As of lately, thank you, TikTok, for being here. You've been with our shows, our weekend shows, our Saturday and Sunday shows here for the last few weeks. And I want to thank you all on TikTok for watching. So, in closing, Andrew, your story is a powerful reminder that purpose is not found, it is built. Through faith, discipline, and service, you've transformed your journey into a testimony that inspires others to rise. Your commitment to wellness, financial empowerment, and community peace is exactly the kind of leadership our world needs. To our viewers, thank you for joining us for another heartfelt conversation. Remember, your story matters, your voice matters, and your journey has the power to change lives. Until next time, keep leading with love, keep walking in purpose, and keep sharing your story from the heart. I'm your host, Charles King. You guys have a great evening, and we will see you guys next Sunday for another great episode